How's everybody doing? Well, today we're gonna jump right in because again, I don't know when I'm gonna get cut. It's just a hit or miss. When it passes 15 minutes, I can breathe because I can always do like part 2 or part 3. I hate doing a part 3 when I don't get the 25 minutes and it's more work, but it's my sad and I may have to do it. But anyway, we're gonna jump right in. Today we are going to do compatibility of signs. Gemini and Virgo. That's why I'm just with black and red, and my pentagram or pentacle is showing. Virgo is the sign of the magician, and so is Gemini. Gemini is the conjurer, the one that writes the spells. Actually, Gemini is the one that writes the spells of witchcraft. But it is Virgo that is the actual magus that actually does the spell and makes it work. Spilling blood and cutting chickens and doing sacrifices and the magus. Lower magic. Virgo rules low magic, but it can also rule high magic. But low magic, which is black and red, symbolizes the demonic aspect of black magic or the dark arts, which is why Virgo has a dark side. It's so, it's freaky and sexy and down and dirty, but still delicious. That's why Virgos they follow Leo. That could have been the sex symbol of the zodiac, but it belongs to Leo. But and what begins in Leo with the sex symbol smolders and culminates in Virgo. Okay? The ultimate hustler, the ultimate go-go dancer, the ultimate prostitute. Well, he's gonna get paid a lot of money for the use of his services. Well, I'm a Virgo, so I should know. I've done that life. No apologies. I had a wonderful time. So, when you have Gemini and Virgo together, you have what's called compatibility of signs. Yes. We are talking about mutable earth and mutable air. If the mutable earth, as an elemental, it is a square. Air and earth don't mix. It's a square. But you have a mutable and a mutable as a modality, which means that can work. That's what makes it compatible. Which means that Virgo is adaptable. Remember, he's the chameleon. I gave you 4 examples in Virgo 1 and Virgo 2. You need to go back to them videos and look at those videos and then look at my video with this, and that puts it all together as a nice cohesive package. Okay? So understand that Virgo and Gemini together are very simpatico. They actually get along, even though there is an elemental square. And we're going to go into what that square symbolizes and how it personifies in the human personality and ego of these two people. Virgo is the magician, and Gemini is the messenger of the gods. Both are ruled by Mercury, the planetary ruler, which rules both of these signs. Ooh la la. So, psychologically, how does that translate into a relationship, into an interpersonal relationship? Well, we have to look at the mythology of Virgo and Gemini. The mythology between the two signs is rather visceral, but nonetheless, the relationship dynamic psychologically and subconsciously, because this is not something that's going to be conscious. It's not going to be conscious knowledge to the ego or the personality of both Virgo and Gemini, regardless if it's male or female. The reality is that both Gemini and Virgos are like twins. They're twins. Gemini represents brothers and sisters. It represents siblings. And it also represents actual twins. I have Mercury on my ascendant, and I'm a twin. People don't know that, but I'm an identical twin. No, and that's very Gemini, and that's very Mercury. Okay, and if you know the mythology of Gemini, again, I referred many of my subscribers to Carlos Castaneda and Carl Sagan, which are the geniuses which I studied under, who were mythologists. Because it is in the mythology of the signs that you get to see the real interpersonal relationships that they have with each other, as created by the gods. Remember, in Genesis, it says, let us make man after our image, after our likeness. So we are very much the same as the gods. As above, so below. So please don't get creeped out. It says it in our Bible, and in every religious doctrine across the land, a very culture and religion. So obviously, the gig is up. We've been created by higher beings that are not the creator, the supreme creator. No, we were created by other lesser beings, hybrid. This is actually true, and we're entering the Aquarian age, and it's about time that you understand certain truths concerning humanity and the history of humanity and where we come from. I've always said in my anthropological series, if you go to medium.com/anthropological series, I've written many articles about it and talk extensively about it. And also my website, thepeoplesastrology.com, even though, I have so many websites and so many blogs, it's a lot of work to do. But some of you have been wanting me to actually go into deeper details about the ascendant and sun sign and moon sign and star signs. And actually, I have a lot of that on my website. It's just not totally complete. 144 to 348 combinations on YouTube is exactly what I have to write when I write my websites and I do these combinations. It's a lot of work, and I don't trust my work to anybody to write. I do all of the data entry and the research, and I put in the information. And that requires time. But understand that Virgo and Gemini have a kinship relationship, and they have a relationship that almost resembles that of siblings. This is how they serve drinks in Europe. Like something like this, with a little fork, okay, no ice. They don't serve you drinks with ice in Europe. It's like this. So, okay, it gets you there faster. But I gotta, drink a little bit because Gemini and Virgo rules intoxicants. It rules drug use. Scorpio rules drugs, but it is Virgo and Gemini that rules the actual drug use. So that's why, there's a lot of Virgos and Gemini that like to use drugs. Or people that love to use drugs that are not Virgo and Gemini have a very strong Virgo-Gemini emphasis in their charts. Because it's where you play and you become somebody else. Remember, Gemini is Jekyll and Hyde. It's 2 in 1. And when he drinks or he intoxicates himself, regardless of the drug of choice, that other alter ego comes out. But then those who don't do drugs, like Donald Trump, who's a Gemini, born on June 14, I believe in 1930-something. I forgot, or 1947, I forgot the actual year. But it's in my website, because I write extensively about Donald Trump on my website, The People's Astrologer. And as a Gemini, he fits the archetype. He's a liar. He's a liar. Not because I say, but, all you got to do is turn on the news and look at the media and understand that everything that comes out of his mouth is a lie. He definitely has the strong trickster with him. It works with him. That's all he does. And he's a shyster and a hustler. So he definitely fits the archetype. Lindsay Lohan, beautiful Gemini girl. Angelina Jolie, another beautiful Gemini girl who is not known for indulging, let's say. But she has her idiosyncrasies too. It's something that we don't see. I'm trying to say is that these women and men have a dichotomy and they have a polar opposite of the personality that they present to other people. This makes them mysterious, frightening, but also entertainingly fascinating. You never are bored with a Gemini. And they are fantastic in a social setting. Oh my God, Lord, give us strength. You think Libra? The only reason why Libra takes the torch for being the most sociable sign of the zodiac is because of her cardinality. She's a cardinal sign. But really, the real social butterfly is not Libra, although she likes to believe that she is. No, it's really, she's a good orator. She's a good statesman, a good statesperson. She can present an argument par excellence. But it is mutable air, Gemini, that actually makes you feel included and makes you feel a part. And lends a powerful, genuine interest of interpersonal exchange, which is not so apparent with Libra. Libra will do that, but not with everybody. She chooses whom she will be that way with. Say. So, Gemini is a lot more relaxed. A lot more willing to go with the flow. And Virgo too. So, let's now choose which one we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the Gemini man and the Virgo girl. The Gemini man is head over heels over the sexy but aloof, standoffish Virgo girl. Now, I've said a lot about the Virgo girl. Just look at my videos. She's sexy, classy, intelligent. She is almost unattainable. She is the princess. You know? You cannot touch her unless you are worthy. And only then you gotta have white gloves, you know, to approach this earthly maiden, full of nice surprises. And it whets the Gemini man's appetite. He wants to get some of that. But it's not gonna be that simple with the Virgo girl. She'll give you her mind. But you're going to have to work really, really, really hard if you want her body. She's not going to give you her body. I don't care how sexy you are, Mr. Gemini. And Mr. Gemini, we know how sexy you are. You know, what? Don't let me go there. But even your swagger and your sexiness is not going to take this woman to bed. You're not going to pull her panties that way. Oh, no. And she is attracted not just to your body, although she won't admit that openly. She's equally more attracted to your mind. And she loves a good mind fuck. And so do you, Mr. Gemini. This combination is so magical and so sensual, you know. It is, but understand that may be the initial pull between these two. It will most certainly be Mr. Gemini, because, you know, the Virgo girl is, I mean, come on, we can't hate, and she's just beautiful. She's beautiful, even when she don't want to be. So it's going to attract the Gemini man. Is going to attract his attention, and then he's going to try to go and pursue you and try to chase you. But you know, the Gemini man ain't stupid. He knows that with you, he's going to have to employ a different approach. He will employ the mind, and he will conquer you, because, you know, his body is irresistible. And he knows what to do with it in the bedroom. And you know what to do with it too, Miss Virgo. You ain't that innocent, you know. But we're going to go there with you because we know. But equally will be his mind. Because the Gemini man has a fucking mind. Aquarius is the other air sign. Even though Libra is cardinal air, Libra is not as astute and smart as they like to pretend to be. You know, they know stuff, but it will never match Aquarius, which is far more cosmic and ethereal and universal. And oh my God, Gemini loves that type of intelligence and that type of breadth of mind and expansion. And Virgo is the earth sign that can actually take the ideas of Gemini and give it flesh and blood and make it manifested. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, the ideas of Gemini, it falls on Virgo, the earth sign, and he will make it happen. He will give it flesh and blood. An example, Gemini has an idea to create a great business and talks to vision, because Gemini is visionary. It's a visionary sign, like Aquarius. And we'll see the picture. We'll see the end of the line, the goal. But the problem is that Gemini, unless there's a lot of factors in the individual horoscope that will confer, like example, if the Gemini man or woman has a lot of Capricorn, a lot of Scorpio, then their mental idea can actually take form and they can actually be manifested. See, but that will have to be the exception rather than the rule. But with Virgo has the ability to take the ideas of Gemini and actually make it happen. The example with Gemini's idea of a franchise, Virgo will write a business plan. Okay, Gemini, I like your idea. Let's see if it's actually feasible. And Virgo will be the one to write a business plan. And it will be a comprehensive business plan to see and to flesh out and give reality to the ideas of Gemini. Oh my God, this couple can work wonderfully together. That's not how it works, John. Wonderfully together. It is a true partnership. It is the consummate partnership. Oh, I can't talk enough about this couple. It's one of my favorite of the compatible signs. Not because I'm a Virgo. And I got Gemini. I got Mercury on my ascendant, the planet. You know, so it's like having Gemini on my ascendant or Virgo on the ascendant, you know. But I understand the virtue of these two signs. The relationship will be almost like a sibling relationship. Understand that in the mythology of Gemini, Gemini is seeking forever and eternally its other half. If you read that book by Carl Sagan or Carlos Castaneda, I'm telling you, and you're a Gemini, you should read these books. Because it details the actual mythology and it gives you an insight as to your soul structure, who you really are. Gemini is mutable air. So therefore it is the mental highway. I mentioned in some of my other videos that the Kabbalah, the tree of life, and the 32 paths are like highways. They're highways that lead to different galaxies and different realities. But if you want to come to this earthly experience, Mankov, there are pathways to enter that highway to come here. Gemini represents that highway. You know. Oh my God. It's fascinating. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. And this is why Gemini has to take to the streets, especially the male. The female will take to fantasy and will go to trips, but she'll do that in her mind. Unlike Mr. Gemini, he will actually go out into the streets. But the Gemini girl will do it in her mind. And so will Miss Virgo or Mr. Virgo. Because the mutable signs have that faculty to be able to go into travels that are not even a part of this world. Mentally, they can do that. Most signs can actually do that if they train themselves to do it, or if they are aware that they have this faculty within them. Now, the Gemini man will have such a great time sexually with Miss Virgo, because we know that Miss Virgo is freaky. I don't know which one is more freaky, the Virgo man or no. I think the Virgo man is more freaky. No, both of us are, the men and the woman. we are, and we love it, and so does Gemini. Oh no, Gemini and Virgo get along very, very well, very well. You know, they are natural magicians when they're together. The magnetism is electric. It's electric. Now, the elemental square comes into play when you have differences of opinion. Virgo can be intellectually very arrogant, a bigot intellectually. I say that about Libra, but understand where it comes from. It begins in Virgo and it culminates in Libra, cardinal air. Libra takes the torch, which begins in Virgo. It just culminates in Libra. Libra gets the credit because Libra is a cardinal sign. You know, so so Virgo has that in him, but so does Gemini. So they can clash in that way. There can be a lot of intellectual arguments and a lot of intellectual boo, 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 and that is what they experience the square. You know, and that also depends on the upbringing, the value systems in which they were raised. You know, the environment. Again, Virgo and Gemini both being mutable signs. They also represent psychological factors that can affect them through the change in the environment. And Gemini rules the third house of the zodiac, which is the environment. So the Gemini psychology and personality is very sensitive in its formation due to the parental influences, siblings, friends, neighbors, teachers. All of that falls under the third house and under Gemini. So if there is a pathology or abuse or some kind of sociopathology that occurs when young, that can totally alter the destiny and the psychological orientation of the person, making him be something else. The same thing with Virgo as a mutable earth sign. If something happens in the development or during the course of development to Virgo, both men or women, as a sexual abuse, molestation, or physical abuse, that can alter the actual personality structure of the person. So then you encounter a Virgo whom you think is like that, but it's not really like that. That person may come from an abusive background. And this is true of all the signs. If there is an abuse or trauma in childhood, you're not going to be the regular type of Sagittarius or Gemini or Virgo or any other sign of the zodiac that you were meant to be, because there was a tampering and an altering of that. So this is why it is, and Virgo and Gemini as a combination can be heaven, but it can also be hell. It truly depends just on the factors that help shape who they are as individuals. If they are fucked up as individuals, they are going to be fucked up together, and it'll be a fucked up relationship. Unless there's a cathartic exchange between the two where they share in their trauma and share in their healing, then they can transcend that. And that can actually occur through the intellectual process, through the interpersonal relating and interpersonal communicating. This combination, more than any other combination of the 248 combinations, Virgo and Gemini can work well together, other things being equal. If neither of them come from trauma or come from a traumatic background and they know each other and the relationship is usually above prime, usually above 30 years old, then I can see this being a fantastic relationship of both convenience, opportunity, shared resource, but also genuine love and affection for each other. Gemini like sex, but it may not be as nitty-gritty, down and dirty as the Virgo man or the Virgo woman. Okay? Understand, and we are done with part one with this combination.